So that's how quantity demanded changes. So, how do we change demand? How do we shift this whole relationship so that at any price, we're willing to buy more than we were before? Well, just for a like the Cliff Notes version of what I'm about to give you here, it's anything that's going to make you want this thing more other than price. Because remember, we talked about this at the beginning of the year. Um, if price changes, we're moving along this line. It's one of the variables that we already have. So if this is going to shift, it's going to need to be some sort of third variable. It's not price, it's not quantity demanded, it's some other thing that's changing how much we want the thing. Okay? So, um, so what causes demand to increase? Well, like I said, anything other than price that changes how much you want a good and service. Now, I will try to fool you on the test. I'll increase the price, lower the price, and ask you what happened to the demand, and you'll go, oh, no, 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 no. That doesn't change demand. It changes quantity demanded. So what does change it? More people. More people means more demand. Okay. Um, if you have people immigrating in, if you have a higher birth rate, if you have more people in that target demographic, okay, if you're selling Depends and there's more old people, then you're going to see an increase in demand. It's not because people want it more necessarily, it's because there's more people who are in that demographic who want it. Um, Change in preferences. If people want a thing more, then the demand for that good increases. If you have more people who are avoiding meat, then all of a sudden vegetarian products are going to be more popular. More people are going vegan. Vegan products will increase. Um, if you have people deciding, hey, I don't want to buy stuff made in China, okay, then demand increases for products made in the U.S. Um, okay, just how people are thinking about what they're buying. Um, Another example is um, CDs. Okay, used to like that's how you got your music. Um, you stuck your CD in the CD player and it played. And if you wanted your music on the go, you had to take your whole CD case and do that. Well, people don't want to do that anymore. People don't want to take their music with them physically. Okay, they want it to be in the cloud there where they can just access their stuff whenever they want it. So demand for CDs decreased. Okay, so it's just people changing what they want. Okay, it can be trends, um, change in technology. We already talked about demographic shifts. Okay, people being older, people being from different ethnicities. Um, Advertising. This is why people advertise. It's they try to change what you like, change what you think is cool. I've been around the block for a while, so I remember, when they had like the Beats headphones, and like it was the cool thing to have these giant headphones. And now the cool thing is to have like the tiny headphones, and it's all because of these marketing dollars that have been spent to say, hey, this is cool. No, this is cool. No, this is cool. So all these things change demand. It changes how much you're willing to buy something. Change in income. So this one starts off what you would think, and then it kind of shifts a little bit. So there's something called a normal good. And normal goods are, for lack of a better word, normal. They work the way that you would expect when it comes to income. In general, as people have increased income, the demand for goods will increase. Okay, if I have more income, I'm willing to spend a little more on a car, or I'm at least more likely to buy a car at a given price. Um, so As I get more income, most goods I'm going to want to buy, excuse me, more of. But that's not true for every good. All right, let's talk about inferior goods. Inferior goods work backwards from the way that you think. Inferior goods are goods and services whose demand decreases as incomes increase. Okay, so some examples here would be cheap, kind of low quality stuff, maybe dollar store kind of stuff. I don't think it's dollar store, but um, repair services. Why do repair services fit in here? Because when people wind up with more money, instead of repairing things, what do? They buy more. Okay. Used goods, payday lending. Okay. You don't see a bunch of people going to payday lenders when the economy is really good and everyone's got really high income. So, when incomes change, if if the good is normal, that's going to increase demand. And if income decreases, it's going to decrease demand. But if it's an inferior good, if incomes increase, demand actually decreases for that good. And if incomes decrease, that's actually good for those sectors that are selling inferior goods. Now, I said earlier that the price of the good does not affect demand, but the price of other goods can affect the demand. So there's two ways this can happen. We have complementary goods and we have substitute goods. Okay, so complementary goods are goods that you typically would buy together. They complement each other. Okay, my easiest example would be peanut butter and jelly. Okay, um, SUVs and gasoline. Okay, if you're buying a big SUV, you're gonna be buying gas too, and more so than if you were buying other stuff. Um, Now, the way that this affects it, let's say the price of gasoline goes up. Um, some of y'all weren't alive for this, but we've had $4 gas, and that was everyone was like, "Oh my goodness, $4 per gallon." Okay, and when that happened, what do you think happened to demand for SUVs? Well, it went down. Okay, because if I buy this SUV, I'm also going to have to buy this expensive gas, and I go, maybe I don't want to do that. Um, but the opposite is also true. As the price of gas goes down, your demand for SUVs climbs back up. Okay. You'll see in places where they have a really high gas tax that all of a sudden everybody's on board with, buying green technologies because it makes sense financially for them. Okay. So as the price of the complementary good goes up, demand for your good goes down. As price of the complementary good goes down, the demand for that good increases. Now, substitute goods are kind of the opposite, and it's what it sounds like. It's I would buy this instead of this. Okay. Um, Maybe over here we've got Beats headphones, and over here we've got AirPods or whatever. Um, so I would buy this instead of this. So as the price of one good increases, we expect the demand for the other good to increase because more people want to buy it because their alternative just got more expensive. And the opposite is true. As the price of the substitute goes down, the demand for the other product goes down because all of a sudden there's this really inexpensive substitute. So you go, hmm. So the prices of other goods can affect the demand for your good. You just have to take a look at whether it's a complementary good or a substitute good. Change in expectations. This is one of my favorite ones to talk about because um, most of the stuff going on with demand, there's something real going on. With change in expectations, it's not that something has happened, it's that we think that something is going to happen. Um, Okay, we've had uh, situations come up where we think that this product is going away, and everybody goes, "Oh, I think this product is going away, so I'm going to buy a bunch of it right now." So it increased the demand. Or we think a big storm is coming, whether or not the storm actually comes or not. The demand for that item increases. Um, Now, something else that this has to do with is a lot of times uh, companies have to be very smart about how they discount their products. Um, because if consumers have a very predictable schedule of when something is going to be discounted, um, then they're going to stop buying it right before it's going to get discounted. Why? Because they have this expectation that the price is about to come down. So they're going to decrease their demand. The opposite is also true. If they think that the price is about to shoot up, then demand is going to increase right now because they'd rather buy it now than buy it at that higher price. Okay. Um, Finally, we have government intervention. So any sort of tax on a good is going to reduce the demand at the given price because not only are they going to have to pay the given price, but they're also going to have to pay the tax. Okay. Um, and the opposite is also true. If you reduce taxes or you give a subsidy. Now, reminder, a subsidy is like the government giving you extra money for something. We've done this in the past for hybrid cars or electric cars. Right now, if you want to put solar panels on your roof, the government will pay you some of that money to do that. So that will increase demand because even though you're paying a certain price, you're going to get some of that money back. All right. And government regulations can change demand. Okay. If we say you can't smoke in all of these different places, well, people go, well, if I can't smoke here, 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 then why am I even buying these things? Um, or if all of a sudden governments say, hey, you have to wear masks to go here, 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 here. Well, all of a sudden people are buying masks. Okay. It increases the demand for that. So let me show you what this looks like on the graph. If demand increases, then we go from this guy right here to increasing the quantity demanded at each price. That is a shift to the right. Alternatively, okay, if all these points at every given price we lower the quantity demanded, that is a shift to the left. Now, it's very tempting to think of this as a shift up and a shift down. I really discourage you from doing that because that's going to mess you up when we get to supply. So, increasing the quantity demanded at every price, okay, increase in demand, that's to the right. A decrease in demand, that is to the left. All right, that's all we've got for demand. Next up, we've got supply.